As a nation, we have a relationship with the federal government, the provincial government, and Manitoba Hydro through our Northern Flood Agreement. Yeah. It's an existing agreement. Yeah. It's a 44-year-old agreement. And in that agreement, it's an original agreement. We were the only community that never signed off the original agreement. And this was based on our elders that has always guided us through the processes. And we were not for sale, because the contents of that agreement was to eradicate mass poverty in my nation. And then it hasn't done very much to eliminate the poverty, to eliminate the unemployment, to eliminate the wants of our young people and what they want. So we're working. We've been working on creating different systems, I guess, to be able to give something back to our community.
What do you think those agencies don't get? Here you are, you've got, I think, if I'm right, an unemployment rate of 80 or higher %. You've got water that you have you can't use. You've got all the implications of the flooding, all of that sort of stuff. What is it that you think that the rest of the country does not get about your situation?
We want them to understand that that an agreement should be fulfilled, that our treaties should be fulfilled, and that there's a cultural genocide in this whole process when it comes to Aboriginal people in this country. And in order for us to heal, you have to let us heal on our own, to let us heal, to be able to go back to the land and to be able to go back to the water, because that's where we came from. And that's something that has worked within the school system when we do our land-based programs. When you take the children out on the land, when you take the children out on the water, they love it. And you can just see, and all that happiness, that's what needs to happen. You cannot continue to destroy our lands, cannot continue to destroy our water.
And do you draw a direct connection between the destruction of those things and the suicide crisis?
Yes.
No, I'm just wondering, draw that connection for me between, the loss of everything and the crisis that this community is having now with young people and suicide.
If we were able to give the opportunity to our young people, for our fathers, our mothers lived off the land, and they provided living off the land, and they did all the hard work where they never got sick. There was a generation of our people that were never sick, and now we have a generation of people that are diabetic in this community. 1,200 people are diabetic in this community, from obesity, from not being able to eat the right foods and whatnot. And if they were able to go out to the land, and if they were able to do the things that were there prior to our contact with how our lands were being destructed, and that's something, that's that connection.
Do you think that would make a difference to the teenagers who seem so desperate?
I think so. Yeah. I think in my heart that they would be able to do those things if they were given an opportunity.
What, for people who don't know the background here, what was the impact of those dams being built? What did it do to your people?
It took away from them their how they lived off the land. It destroyed their spirit. It destroyed who they were and what they had and what they are not able to pass on to our young people.
Because of the flooding?
Because of the flooding, the destruction of the land. It's been destructed. It will never ever go back to the way it was, where even in the community here, our water levels go up and down and whatnot. At one point in time, in the early 80s, the water was so low that it was almost where people could walk across the Nelson River here. Yeah, and kids were swimming in the muddiest water ever. And so those are the things that, the destruction of who we are and what was taken away, and the promises were never fulfilled.
What were you promised when that happened?
The promise was to eradicate mass poverty in the community, that my nation, my community would be able to provide things for our young people, that we would be able to be self-sustaining, and that anything from this agreement that arises from this agreement would be over and above normal programming.